So good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Should we begin? Okay. So before we begin, just some house rules. During the program, we'll ask everyone to keep their mics mute and their cameras off until we ask for some photos at the end of the program. Okay. Right. So just to give you a background, World Metrology Day is celebrated on the 28th of May annually. And this is in commemoration of the signing of the Meter Convention on the 20th of May, 1875. Now, we're doing our presentation this morning on the 19th because tomorrow is a holiday. Oh, sorry, tomorrow is a Saturday. Right. So again, thanks for everyone for joining us this morning. And I'd like to go straight into this morning's program with our welcome address by our newly appointed Executive Director, Mr. Jose Trejo. Mr. Trejo.
Thank you, Avinash. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
To start, salutations. Good morning, Senator, the Honorable Paula Gopi-Schoon, Minister of Trade and Industry. Unfortunately, the minister can't be with us today. Ms. Erica Caruth, Manager, Metrology Division, Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards, TTBS. Mr. William Jordan, Secretary, Marketing Committee, Angostura Limited. Ms. Siddiqa Mohammed, Quality Manager, Massey Integrated Retail Limited. Mr. Sue Durga, Supervisor, Calibration Services, Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards. Mr. Avinash Budram, Standards Officer 2, Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards. To our team at the Metrology Division, special invited guests. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to this year's World Metrology Day celebration. As the Executive Director of the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards, it is my honor to address you all on this important occasion. Today, we gather to recognize and appreciate the vital role that measurements play in supporting the quality of life and the global food system. The theme for this year's World Metrology Day, Measurements Supporting the Global Food System, underscores the significance of accurate and reliable measurements in ensuring the safety, quality, and sustainability of our food supply. From farm to fork, measurements are essential at every step of the food chain, encompassing production, processing, distribution, and consumption. In an era marked by rapid population growth, climate change, and evolving consumer demands, the global food system faces numerous challenges. It is our responsibility to ensure that the food we consume is safe, nutritious, and sustainable. Measurements and metrology are critical in achieving these objectives. At the heart of the food system lies the need for accurate measurements in agriculture, from soil analysis to determine nutrient content and fertility, to the calibration of measuring devices such as market scales. Precision measurements form the roots of our strong agricultural sector. By harnessing the power of metrology, we empower farmers to make informed decisions and adopt sustainable practices that safeguard the future of our food production, as well as assure consumers that they are getting value for money whenever a weighing device, such as a market scale, is used to purchase food. In today's interconnected world, global trade in food products is flourishing. Measurements facilitate the fair and harmonized exchange of goods by ensuring that quantities are accurately determined. Robust metrological frameworks, including internationally recognized standards and traceability systems foster trust, confidence in the global food system. They protect both producers and consumers, promoting a level playing field and facilitating the flow of safe and high quality food across borders. At TTBS, the verifications conducted by our Legal Metrology Inspectorate, the LMI, on market scales and supermarket scales address an essential aspect of measurement supporting the global food system. The Metrology Act, Chapter 8206, mandates the LMI to monitor and verify prescribed measuring devices used in trade in Trinidad and Tobago. Verification helps confirm that measuring such as market scales and supermarket scales conform to the Act and its regulations. It includes the examination, testing, and stamping of the device with verification marks and issuing of verification certificates. When purchasing produce at the market, the prices of most items we buy are based on weight. It is therefore important that scales used by vendors accurately measure the weight of the items that are being sold. As such, the LMI continues its market surveillance verification exercises throughout all municipal markets and NABDEM farmers market nationwide. The verification process conducted by the LMI involves the examining on the accuracy and reliability of these market scales. By regularly inspecting and certifying market scales, we contribute to maintaining trust and confidence in the market, enabling fair transactions and protecting both buyers and sellers. As consumers, we rely on measurements to make informed choices about the food we buy and consume. Accurate labeling and including nutritional information, allergen declarations, and country of origin helps us to make choices that align with our dietary needs, preferences, and values. Metrology empowers consumers to exercise their rights and ensures transparency in the food system. I therefore urge all to be conscious of the LMI's work by looking for a yellow past verification label when you're purchasing food from a vendor or at a grocery. This label ensures that the market scale you are purchasing from has been verified and is weighing accurately. Throughout these efforts, we aim to foster a cooperative and collaborative relationship between TTBS and all our stakeholders. By working together, we can ensure that accurate measurements are consistently provided and any issues or concerns are promptly addressed. This cooperation strengthens the overall integrity of the market, enhances consumer trust, and supports the growth of a fair and transparent food system. However, the challenges facing the global food systems are not static. As we strive to meet the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, measurements will continue to evolve and adapt to emerging needs, from the use of novel technologies like blockchain to enhance traceability, to the development of rapid and portable analytical devices. Innovation in metrology holds the key to addressing the complex challenges we face. Therefore, on this World Metrology Day, I call upon all stakeholders to recognize the pivotal role measurements play in supporting the global food system. Governments, industry, academia, and civil society must collaborate to strengthen metrological capabilities, invest in research and development, and promote the dissemination of best practices. Let us prioritize capacity building to ensure that measurement infrastructure is robust and aligned with international standards. Let us foster a culture of metrological awareness and education, empowering individuals to make informed decisions and contribute to the sustainability of our food system. In conclusion, measurements are the bedrock of the global food system. They provide the foundation for safety, quality, and sustainability. As Trinidad and Tobago increases the competitiveness of quality of goods and services, and the national quality infrastructure continues to grow from strength to strength, citizens can have greater confidence in the measurement capabilities of our country as it relates to commerce, food production, and the environment. Today, let us celebrate the contributions of metrology and renew our commitment to advancing the science of measurement. Together, we can build a future where everyone has access to safe, nutritious, and sustainable food. Thank you, and I wish you all a fruitful World Metrology Day celebration.
Thank you very much, Mr. Trejo. So you mentioned that the verifications of scales and in markets and groceries, and we'll see a little presentation about that in a subsequent presentation during the program, as well as some of the digital transformation projects that we would have undertaken in metrology and calibration in particular. Without further ado, I would like to go straight into our feature presentation by the Honorable Paula Gopi-Skoon, Minister of Trade and Industry, the line minister for TTBS. Unfortunately, she was not able to join us live today, but would have sent a pre-recorded message for us. So let's go to that.
Today, Trinidad and Tobago joins the global community in celebrating World Metrology Day. On this day, countries commemorate the NITA Convention, which was signed on May 20th, 1875, and this sets the framework for the establishment of a universally accepted measurement system. We acknowledge the contribution of local, regional, and international metrology practitioners towards the advancement of the science of measurement. These practitioners continually develop and validate new measurement techniques to ensure the reliability of results. The theme for this year's World Metrology Day is Measurements Supporting the Global Food System, which highlights the increasing challenges presented by climate change and its impact on the global food distribution network. And according to the World Economic Forum, increasing temperatures and extreme weather events are negatively impacting crop yields, which exacerbates the availability and reliability of food. And this places the world population at risk of higher food prices, poverty expansion, and increased hunger. The government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago is focused on strengthening the country's food security position by primarily promoting the expansion of the agriculture and agro-processing sector. This has been clearly articulated in the country's National Development Strategy 2016-2030, Vision 2030, and the roadmap for Trinidad and Tobago, transforming to a new economy and a new society. A number of tangible measures have already been implemented, which demonstrate the government's commitment to building the country's food security. Trinidad and Tobago also supports the Caribbean Community 25 by 25 initiative, which is a regional pledge by CARICOM heads of government to reduce the regional food importation value by at least 25% by 2025. And this initiative seeks to increase food security in the region by stimulating investments in agriculture and food production. Mitigating the impact of climate change is also a priority for the government, as Vision 2030, Theme 5, places the environment at the center of social and economic development. Metrology, as a science of measurement, is integral to the global food system. National metrology institutes around the world play a vital role in supporting and protecting the food industry by providing reliable measurements for the production, the safety and supply of primary and processed food products. For example, these institutions ensure that the quantity of food bought and sold, which is measured in mass or volume, is accurately verified and reflected in the product's labeling. Additionally, the quality of food is also verified through careful measurements, which detect the presence of chemical contamination, such as pesticide residues, heavy metals, or biological contamination. The Ministry of Trade and Industry, through the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards, supports the international and domestic food system through the implementation of the Metrology Act, Chapter 8206 in this country. The Metrology Act provides a framework for the development of the national measurement system in Trinidad and Tobago and gives the Bureau the responsibility for its implementation and enforcement as a legal metrology authority. The Act mandates that all prescribed measuring devices used in trade are monitored and verified, including those in the food industry. To ensure the accuracy of measuring devices, the TTBS conducts a series of verification exercises at periodic intervals at municipal markets, at groceries, at supermarkets, poultry depots, and other outlets where food is sold by weight to ensure that the scales are weighing accurately. The implementation of the Metrology Quantities of Goods regulations under the Metrology Act is also a priority for the TTBS. And as such, it will continue to conduct inspections of consumer goods to verify that product quantities are accurately reflected on the packaging of all items bought and sold. And these verification activities empower consumers to make informed decisions and assure that they are receiving actual quantities of goods purchased. They also encourage manufacturers and retailers to follow fair trading practices and engender trust between consumers and businesses. The Ministry of Trade and Industry and the TTBS will continue its ongoing efforts to strengthen the country's national measurement system. And in this regard, the Metrology Act is currently being modernized in alignment with key developments taking place in international metrology law. Metrology as a science is in constant revision, and it is integral that the Act in Trinidad and Tobago be updated to ensure compliance with global requirements. The Bureau has also recognized the importance of upgrading its measurement infrastructure in order to foster greater confidence in the country's measurement system. And to facilitate this, the Bureau has undertaken significant investments in new equipment and has facilitated the training and development of its staff to ensure that the organization is in alignment with international measurement benchmarks. I encourage you to reflect on the role and impact of metrology in your everyday lives, and I take this opportunity to wish you a happy World Metrology Day 2023.
Okay, great. Thanks to the Minister for her message for World Metrology Day. I'd like to move on to a presentation on the digital transformation of calibration services by Mr. Sue Durga, the Supervisor for Calibration Services at the Metrology Division, TTBS. Mr. Durga.
Thank you, Avinash. Just let me know if you are seeing my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Okay, good morning, everyone. This morning, I'll be talking about the digital transformation of TTBS calibration services. Seems to be having a little bit of technical problem at moving to the slides. That's comment. I'll just share. Okay, so this morning, I'll be speaking about what is digital transformation. We'll briefly talk about digital transformation internationally, regionally, before I get to what's happening nationally at the TTBS, and we'll finish up with just looking ahead. So what is digital transformation? It's not clear to many people what digital transformation means or what needs to be done. Something, is it just a catchy way to say moving to the cloud? What are the specific steps we need to take? Do we need to design new jobs to help us create a framework for digital transformation or hire a consulting service? What parts of our business strategy need to change? Digital transformation is imperative for all businesses, from the smallest to the largest enterprise. And as you all know, in recent years, COVID-19 pandemic has brought new urgency to meeting digital transformation goals and forced many organizations to speed up transformation work. Different definitions, but basically this one covers what most of the things related to digital transformation. And basically says the integration of digital technology into all areas of a business, resulting in fundamental changes to how businesses operate and how they deliver value to customers to meet changing business and market requirements. Now, I put those two things in red, fundamental changes, because it's not just about digitalization of moving from a hard copy to a computer soft copy, but there must be fundamental changes to how the business operates. Of course, businesses are operate to serve customers, and therefore there must be value to the customers at the end of the process. There are many organizations working on transforming how digital technology can be incorporated to seamlessly transfer measurement traceability and the associated measurement data to the various stakeholders in the measurement chain. So it's not only the National Metrology Institutes, but it's all the industries and organizations that are involved in measurements, from the manufacturer, the suppliers, distributors, calibration labs, and of course the users also. So we'll take a look now, a brief look at the digital transformation that's happening internationally. For digital representations of data to be usable and for relevant data to be retrievable by users, the data has to be formatted to be searchable. And it's imperative to have standardized data formats that are harmonized globally. Otherwise, there'll be difficulty in the interoperability of instruments, and of course, it'll be difficult to share information and data and documents between different users. A number of organizations like BIPM, the International Science Council, CoData, IMECO, OML, all of them signed a joint statement of intent on the digital transformation in the international scientific and quality infrastructure on the 30th of March, 2022, last year. And this basically provided a platform for the signatory organizations to come together to indicate their support in a way appropriate to their particular organization to the development, implementation, and promotion of the SI digital framework. Other organizations, of course, have been signing on subsequently. For example, the International Laboratory Accreditation Corporation, ILAC, have also signed the joint statement of intent. The CoData Task Group on Digital Representation of Units of Measurement forms an important link to the International Committee for Weights and Measures, the CIPM, and its task group on the Digital SI, which is working to develop and establish a worldwide uniform and secure exchange format based on the International System of Units, the SI. And in this regard, on the February 2021, the BIPM held an online workshop on the FAIR digital data. FAIR stands for findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. So these joint efforts such as these provide information on what is happening internationally with the goal of providing a harmonized approach to formatting and reporting measurement data. Of course, there are many countries around the world that are also working on their digital transformation. For example, the National Metrology Institute of Germany, PTB, and the National Physical Lab, NPL, in the UK have developed digital calibration certificates, which are called DCCs for short, to collect and organize standardized metadata and data concerning a calibration. Now we take a look at digital transformation that's happening regionally. So the TTBS is a member of the Regional Metrology Organization, which are usually referred to as RMOs. And our RMO for the Americas is SIM, the Inter-American Metrology System. SIM is the Spanish acronym, which is Sistema Interamericano de Metrología. So all the countries in the Americas, including the Caribbean, belong to this group in SIM. SIM promotes and supports an integrated measurement infrastructure in the Americas, which enables each member NMI to stimulate innovation, competitiveness, trade, consumer safety, and sustainable development by effectively participating in the international metrology community. So in this regard, SIM created a new working group, Metrology Working Group 14, and was created to provide support to the other SIM working groups in all matters that relate to digital transformation. Members of this working group provide support to the NMIs and to local industries of the SIM countries. Monthly events are held, called the Metrology for Digital Transformation Day, or M4DT Day. There are also annual M4DT conferences, training, workshops, as well as consultation in metrological problems that involve applications of digital transformation. The Metrology Working Group 14 is comprised of several task forces dealing with different things. For instance, one dealing with specifically the digital calibration certificate, another dealing with the cloud technologies for metrology. The one task force is dealing with automation of lab processes, metrology for industry 4.0, agile projects, and there's a task group that's doing follow-up and support for all the task groups and liaising with the other metrology working groups of SIM. At the regional level, TTBS is also involved in a number of projects that is happening in the Metrology Working Group. So one is the follow-up and task force. We're also participating in a SIM M4DT Cabaret project. This is started in 2021 and is due to be completed in November this year, 2023. And we are part of Working Group 3, which is dealing with digital process management. And we also participating in a project, the IDB, sponsored by IDB, and it's called the THP project. And that is going to be completed this year also. And this project is focused on the development of a low-cost system for remote measurement of laboratory environmental conditions. That's temperature, relative humidity, and atmospheric pressure. And it includes a secure connectivity for data communication and management using XML, as well as remote calibration and verification. All right, so now we look at the digital transformation of TTBS's calibration services. As the NMI for Trinidad and Tobago, our role and mission is to champion the development and implementation of standards, measurement systems, and conformity assessment services for the competitiveness and sustainability of Trinidad and Tobago. Our activities and services are related to measurements include calibration, verification and inspection, pattern approval, training, and consultancy. Our calibration services include the following measurement parameters: mass calibration, both weights and NAWI, which is non-automatic weighing instruments, electrical and time calibration, pressure and torque calibration, dimension calibration, temperature and humidity calibration, as well as volume and density calibration. This is a brief look at our calibration services process workflow. I'm not going to go through the whole process, but usually our calibration services begin with a customer submitting a request and ends when the customer submits payment. In this box in the middle here, our calibration services process, there are many different steps that take place. And our goal is to, of course, to simplify the customer's interaction with these processes and to make it easier, more efficient. So usually customer would submit a request, and currently we are using an Excel spreadsheet that they fill out. And this is submitted with the relevant information which our operations assistant receives. And this is then passed to our technical staff for review to ensure that the requirements can be met and we're able to meet the customer requirements for their calibration services that they require. And once everything is good to go, we provide the customer with a calibration service order contract, which is signed in agreement to initiate the process of sending the equipment. So I said I'm not going to go through the entire process. I'll just end with the last set of processes. I can see there step 23 and 24, where the customer collects the items and the certificates and their calibration sticker. And then the final step is where they submit their payment to our accounting staff and they get a receipt that they have made their payment. So our goal is to, in our digital transformation, is to convert this semi-automated paper-based system into a complete automated system. So initially, our plan was to build a calibration management system and to outsource this development. However, the development of that CMS software was too expensive, and of course, associated with it was also the annual support fees, which was going to run into a couple $100,000 every year. So we decided to take another route and do an in-house development of the CMS software, which is much more affordable. We'll have better customization and we have more control over the process. The project goals basically is to digitally transform the management of the calibration process from start to end. I want to enhance the customer experience with the calibration process to make it simpler and easier, to reduce the turnaround time in the calibration of measuring instruments, and to reduce the time it takes to prepare routine summary reports and easily and quickly create custom reports for analysis and planning. So I'm not going to go through all these specifications, but I just wanted to highlight a couple. So we want to maintain customer info, the equipment logs, including recalibration due date email reminders so that they can be notified 3 months, 2 months, a month in advance when their equipment is due for recalibration. With respect to requesting calibration, the customers will now have online access to select which of the equipment they want to calibrate and be able to get a quotation online. To be able to, for the customer to be able to track the items online, so they won't need to call and ask what's happening with the equipment. They'll be able to see its status throughout the process, where it is, whether it's been received, whether it's been conditioned, calibrated, if there are any issues, they can track that through the entire process from start to end using a web application. And of course, we are also working towards the customers being able to view and download the calibration certificates and records rather than having to have hard copies to deal with and paper copies, because worldwide, everyone is moving towards online access to calibration certificates. So during this phase 1 of our development of the CMS software and our digital transformation, this development started in June 2022, and we are hoping if all go according to plan that we can have the software released for use in October of this year, October 2023. So of course, this will allow not only the customers, but also staff to be able to have access to all the relevant records and managing that entire process that you saw from start of the request from the customer to the end of the customer payment being online. So looking ahead, we also looking to automate some of our calibration processes. As an example, with digital multimeter calibration, using the software and hardware to automatically read measurement data from a digital display and processing that data without the user having to manually input the data from the keypad. And also possibility of remote calibration, where the calibration of pressure instruments at the customer's premises can be done by comparison with a transfer pressure standard and the automatic collection of data with a software installed on a laptop at the customer's premises. So there are many possibilities and innovative ways to digitally transform our calibration services. And we will continue to learn and adapt systems that have already been developed and tested by our colleagues at other NMIs. In addition, we will explore and experiment with developing our own systems. That brings me to the end. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sue. I know we do have a lot of exciting things upcoming in the future. I guess COVID would have encouraged us to move towards a digital environment. We do have a lot of opportunities for development. The latest buzzword is AI and ChatGPT, and how those can play a role in a variety of businesses and laboratories and such. Right. So again, thanks a lot, Sue, for your presentation. I'd now like to share a short video, what we would call Metrology Bites. Welcome to Metrology Bites, bite-sized metrology content. Today, we will be looking at measurements supporting the global food system. Food is a basic human necessity, and from transport to purchase, measurements play a vital role in food safety and trade. Take weight for example. The TTBS routinely verifies scales used in trade at markets and groceries. Let's have a look at the process of verifying a market scale. As we can see, the technician uses standard weights in the verification. These are in turn calibrated by a more accurate weight, a calibration standard. which in turn is calibrated by an even more accurate weight, and so on. This creates an unbroken chain of measurements to the International System of Units, the SI, and for weight in particular, the kilogram. Thank you for your attention and do enjoy the rest of the program. So thanks a lot for your attention again. We'd like to move on to presentations by experts in the food industry. First up, we have Mr. William Jordan, the Quality Assurance Manager for Angostura Limited, Trinidad Distillers Limited. His responsibilities include overseeing laboratory operations and maintaining laboratory accreditation to ISO IEC 17025-2017, supporting quality system certification requirements such as ISO 9001-2015, ISO 14001-2015, and our food safety certification to FSSC 22,000. A firm background in analytical chemistry, along with 15 years of quality control and laboratory experience, have aided in maintaining the high quality standards required in our ever innovative range of products. So I take you now to a presentation by Mr. William Jordan.
I am the Quality Assurance Manager for Angostura Limited Laboratory Operations, where we do all of the quality assurance checks, analyses for all of the various products that we make here. So we do a lot of regulatory testing that's required before we could even export any of these goods into other markets. So of course we need to heavily regulate the percentage alcohol contained in any of these products, because we have declared values on each product as to how much alcohol is contained within it, to make sure, of course, our consumers don't get the wrong amounts in their bottles when they receive it. So all of the equipment we have would be calibrated. We actually have accredited tests for those particular analyses, which means there's a high degree of traceability and scrutiny when it comes to those measurements. So we have sugars testing, volumetric testing, weight testing, density checks, color checks, turbidity checks, you name it, we check it. So a lot goes into making every single bottle that we run off the line. So it starts with the receipt of molasses, and how we buy molasses is we'd have to wait and check how much sugars are in the molasses, be able to know how much we have to pay for it basically, and the quality of the molasses that goes into our fermentations. So those usually would be done by calibrated weight bridges, where the trucks would come weigh at full and then leave. They'll take the weight at empty, and the difference would be how much molasses we receive. The similar aspects would be for things like raw materials of sugar, flavor ingredients. We also check those to make sure we have proper quality of all the raw materials put into our processes to make the final product. So after the fermentation process, where we get the alcohol out, we of course have to monitor the distillation process for efficiency. Part of ensuring that we operate responsibly and don't generate too much waste material is to ensure that we produce the largest amount of alcohol with the smallest amount of waste possible. So we actually have a wastewater treatment plant that deals with all of the spent wash, all the waste streams coming out of fermentation and distillation. So we have to monitor those streams to ensure that we meet certain discharge requirements so that we minimize the impact to the environment. We have an on-site environmental lab which monitors the different process streams within our water resource recovery and anaerobic digester facility that treats all of our effluent waste and ensures that we are within the discharge requirements for our local regulatory body. Once we get alcohol off of the distillation columns, we would then put those to age in the oak casks for several years to get our different profiles of age rums. So each of those fillings we would also analyze to make sure we have the proper flavor profiles by checking it on gas chromatographs, which would also be calibrated based on weights of the individual components. Flow meters would be instrumental in ensuring that we pump the correct volumes of the alcohol and monitoring how much alcohol we put to age, how much alcohol we take out from aging, to ensure that we have a consistent supply to supply the world with our rums. Another important parameter we measure would be the volumes of the holding containers, so the tanks and vats that hold the rums, and also the tank containers that would hold bulk liquids as well. We also measure those, and once the liquid is bottled into cased products, the case goods would also be checked by weight to make sure they contain the correct amount of product in each case. And then we have those cases would be packed into different containers, and that would be shipped out by a full pallet weight, and we know how much we have put into the container. Now, feeding the distillery and blending areas, and actually feeding the entire plant site, we have dedicated water treatment plants on site that we also have to finally control all of the parameters for those to ensure that the water quality that we produce to use within the different processes is of the right purity. And we would check the conductivity of that water, the hardness, pH balance, and turbidity. We also have the calibration of the steam generation equipment, the boilers that generates all of the heat and steam that the plant requires to do the distillation process, as well as steam in the casks for sanitation and sanitizing all of the final containers for bulk liquids such as cargo containers or IBC kegs and things like that. Metrology allows for a global agreement on standard measurements. Using a broad but interconnected system of metrological and quality measurements, Angostura continues to produce the leading bitters products in the world, such as Angostura aromatic bitters, orange bitters, cocoa bitters, Amaro, Angostura Chill, and a superb collection of Angostura premium rum brands, such as our Angostura 1824 and Angostura 1919. And our standard rum range, which includes white oak and its innovative array of flavors, forest bark puncheon, and black label rum. This has allowed Angostura to establish global reach in over 170 markets and ensure consistent quality and consumer safety for nearly 200 years, since 1824.
Bravo, Mr. Jordan. That was an excellent presentation. I'd like to move on to our second presentation by Mrs. Sadiqa Mohammed, the Quality Manager for Massey Stores Trinidad. Sadiqa is the Quality Manager for Massey Stores, joining the group in 2020. This role oversees the implementation of food safety and quality, not only in Trinidad, but providing regional guidance, ensuring a level of due care, compliance, and brand protection. Sadiqa comes with over 25 years' experience in food manufacturing, agro-processing, commercial catering, quality management, and now the food retail and distribution sector. As a food technologist, she has collaborated with companies in developing and implementing quality management systems both locally and regionally. Certified in training, Sadiqa also spends part of her career dedicated to the field of training and, by extension, consultancy services to a wide range of SMEs in product development, testing, manufacturing, standardization, production, packaging, and labeling advisory. Her goal is to contribute in whatever small way to the country's food security vision. So I hand you over to Mrs. Sadiqa Mohammed.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, good morning.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So, firstly, let me start off by acknowledging the TTBS and thank them for one, being able to recognize and celebrate World Metrology Day, and two, for inviting Massey Stores to be part of this event and initiative. So let's look at firstly just a common outlook in this whole concept of global food systems. The global food and agricultural production have increased significantly. This we already know. And there's a combination of population and economic growth, along with technological and cultural shifts in production practices. Emphasis on the word technology there, because we have seen so much growth over the past decades in this area. And with increases in population, wealth, and urbanization, the world has seen an overall increase in food demand, coupled with shifts in dietary preferences and moving towards more resource-intensive foods. And I tend to use the word innovative cycles. So, you know, we at Massey Stores, being in the retail and distribution business, as opposed to manufacturing, well, I should say core manufacturing, we always have to be okra with what's going on in the industry. So, you know, you always see these product development, innovations. We have the onslaught of things like meat and / no meat kinds of products. We have all kinds of vegan foods coming up. We have things like all kinds of health type foods. And we always seem, by the time we turn around, we always seem to be bombarded by new types of foods on the markets. Of course, there's the Green Revolution, which has played a significant role in establishing intensive agricultural production methods, which we could not have been here today without all those advances that actually have taken place. What has climate change done with our food distribution? We certainly know that it's here with us. It's not going anywhere. How is all of this affecting our food distribution network, our whole farm to fork table? It has affected retail and distribution in Trinidad and regionally in our food space. And we know nutrition, food security, and food safety are all interconnected. And climate change and its effectiveness has affected all three areas for us. The food retail and distribution sector has had to respond in a variety of ways. We have had no choice but to respond to this. So a few of those ways we've had to respond is, one of them is looking at alternative suppliers. And this has prompted us using probably tools and strategies for approval and verification. And everybody in the food industry knows that the whole process for approving and verifying using suppliers is not always the easiest thing to do. We've had variations and inconsistency in supply quality. So in tandem with having to look at alternate suppliers or constantly having to onboard suppliers, it means having to look at approving specific distributors and suppliers to guarantee quality in accordance with baseline specifications, which of course can be quite challenging. We've had to look at substitutions. There are products that are actually no longer available, either for climatic reasons because of weather, or for manufacturing challenges. Either the persons can't produce anymore, maybe coming out of COVID, they have had a lot of challenges and a lot of restrictions that have caused them to either shut down their plants or to actually move and rationalize their product offering. So we constantly have to be asking for, with these changes, asking for letters of conformance and having to do product trials and approval before using. Or maybe look at repositioning products. So some of the brands that you probably have been accustomed to buying, you would find are either no longer available, or you would find a longer turnaround time before you start seeing those brands back. And or you may not even see brands in the same position from a retail perspective because we have had to bring in new products. Supply chain reliability. I believe this one has plagued almost about everyone, especially in the food industry. What has that resulted in? It has resulted in longer turnaround times. It has resulted in unavailability of product at times. It has resulted in even spoilage. And that has happened. It's few and far between, but it has happened. So we have had to build closer relationships with our logistic providers. We have a US-based coordinator, which helps a lot, but we are still struggling with it. It's getting a lot better, but that is something we will have to continue to deal with. And of course, we've had to deal with changes in pricing structure and its knock-on effect on food security. There is only so much. Everybody has been reeling from increases in prices. We've been reeling from increases in raw materials. And the retail and distribution sector is trying to continue to work within certain margins to mitigate its effect. We are trying to do our best given our economic climate to ensure that we still provide a reliable food supply to our population. Massey Stores' role in supporting this global food system. So Massey Stores manages 25 locations within Trinidad. So we have 25 stores across our geographical landscape, and we have one centralized production facilities. So we do both. Almost everybody would be aware. We do a combination of both cold food offering as well as hot foods within stores. So it's not just retail buy and sell operation we're involved in, but we're also involved in food, ready to eat manufacturing. Regionally, we also have spread our stores across Barbados, Guyana, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent. Food safety, a few years ago, was identified as a business risk. That is how important it was from the Massey Group level. And that said, it has resulted in a department like myself. Trinidad is also spearheading implementation of the food safety management system against the framework of ISO 22000:2018. So where we are looking at full implementation of GMP and prerequisite programs and any other relevant food safety standards, which the TTBS standards also form part of that manual of standards. So we're not only involved in retail and distribution, but like I said, our centralized facility is also preparing and handling ready-to-eat food. So it's not quite like the manufacturing sector, but we do actually put a lot of food out there for public consumption. With that as a main concern, Remember recalling Mr. Trejo speaking to ensuring consumers get value for money. In its simplest use of measurement, because when I was asked to do this presentation, I was looking at how is Massey Stores contributing to measurement. Massey Stores fully and compliant with our calibration and verification of all scales across our chain of stores. Scales that are used throughout all our food production operations, from all our workstations, receiving stations, our registers, our self-checkouts. This is a feature that is not only critical for inventory management, but also forms a means of ensuring our quality standardization in our food production areas, be it via recipes, our scale labels, etc. That photo off on my right there to this slide. It's a very common scale label that you would find in almost any grocery store, not just Massey Stores as well. Those labels, as basic as it is, has critical and vital information on there where you would see weights and measures. So that is extremely critical to the supermarket business, because our inventory is at the end of the day, A plus B must be equal to C, and forms a critical part in our measurements, and that translates into dollars and cents for us and for you. Massey Stores needs to ensure that our customers out there get truthful value for money. We also use thermometers, verification, and temperature checks. Those of us who are involved in the food industry would be familiar with HACCP critical control points. So temperatures in our business is also extremely important. We do this by doing daily checking of all our refrigeration units as part of our preventive management program. We do daily checking of cooked food temperatures because, as I mentioned, we actually produce a lot of foods that we sell out there. We also first to market locally the provision and marketing of a modified atmosphere packaging technology for some of our fresh meats. And this technology allows us to improve the quality and shelf life of some of those meat products we put out there for retail. And this piece of technology has some critical metering in there. Outside of that, and by extension, some initiatives and progress are on the way in terms of measurement and sustainability for our food systems include food microbiological testing. We do this for our potable water and food. We have rapid microbiological hygiene swabbing for contact surfaces. These things are actually quite standard across the food industry, but may not be so standard in the retail and distribution supermarket business. But we are making it part of our business. We also, in terms of sustainability, we're also looking to manage our food waste. We have a target under 3% waste reduction as overall food waste. Now that is a pretty it's a low target that we are trying to maintain at all costs, but we are also trying to do so safely, right? And built in that is recording, weighing, and documentation, because that's the only way we can manage and measure that we are keeping that waste at or under 3%. We also have cardboard recycling across all Massey Stores. I could speak to head office where we recycle between 1,200 to 1,500 kgs of cardboard, because you can well imagine in our business, we have a lot of secondary packaging material and waste that gets generated. We also, in the last 8 months, we are looking at implementing Lean Six Sigma for continuous improvement. We have several persons who are trained in Lean Six Sigma. We're looking to use a few of those elements to look at identifying and measuring defects and errors, both from receiving to customer service and implementing corrective actions around that. Of course, our food imports must meet regulatory requirements. That's standard practice. Anything coming through our ports before it hits our premises, we must ensure that they have all the relevant regulatory requirements, be it CMCs, microbiological analysis, and all those other documents. And by assumption, we're assuming that when we get those documents, have met, and it's that they are auditable, they are reliable, and that they are traceable. We also accept no reefers coming in when temperature monitoring and recording has been compromised. While it's something that it's extremely rare, it has happened from time to time. But Massey Stores make sure that we don't accept any containers where temperature has been compromised. And we're also in the process of implementing a traceability program, which of course is critical in recalls. So those are just some of the few ways I wanted to share that Massey Stores is using Metrology, and you can rest assured that you could look for those yellow stickers at Massey Stores locations across the country, and we will continue to partner and work with the TTBS to ensure that we use all those verification standards that they have in place. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you very much, Mrs. Mohammed. Actually, just recently, I was looking at a documentary about climate change and how it affects the wine growing regions in France. So they because of climate change, the wine growing regions, they've been moving slowly northward, just to get to the cooler climates, because the grapes have very particular temperature, humidity requirements for growing. So it's quite an interesting discussion. Thanks again to our guest speakers this morning. I'd like to hand you over to the manager for the Metrology Division, Mrs. Erica Carruth. So just to give you a little preamble, we would have had an article competition for some of our technicians in the weeks leading up to World Metrology Day. So I'll hand you over to Mrs. Carruth.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Avinash. So as Avinash said, this year we decided to pay particular attention and focus to the technicians of the Metrology Division in launching an article competition in keeping with the World Metrology Day theme, measurements supporting the global food system. And we would have launched the criteria for the technicians to conduct and to put together their research for the articles. We would have divided the technicians into 3 teams across the division, 1 from legal metrology and 2 from standards and calibration, 2 teams from standards and calibration. So they were to write an article on the team measurement supporting the food global system, show the importance of measurement in the food global system, highlight the value and importance of their work in the global food system, and also highlighting the challenges, and show how measurements assist in solving food challenges, including examples, quotes from experts, images. The criteria is 1,500 to 2,000 words, and of course they will judge based on content and development, organization and structure, format, punctuation, grammar, vocabulary, and of course they had to indicate their references. And so they had to submit on the 12th of May, and it would have been sent to the judges for determining the results. So we sweetened the pot in particular for the first prize, the winning article will be published in 3 newspapers tomorrow, May 20th, on World Metrology Day. So it will also be placed on the BIPM's World Metrology Day website, CrossQ's website, the TTBS website, and social media platforms. And of course, the winning team will present on their article today in today's webinar. First place prize, each team member will receive a $500 Massey voucher. And the second place prize, each team member will receive a $300 Massey voucher. And third place, each team member will receive a $200 Pennywise voucher. So we had quite a prestigious lineup of judges. Our very own executive director, Mr. Jose Trejo. We had also Mr. Javier Arias Real. He is the executive director of the National Metrology Institute in Panama, and he is also the SIM president, that is our regional metrology organization. And we had Mr. Theodore Reddock, our retired past executive director, acting and head of the metrology division. And I saw that he's on the webinar today. And of course, yours truly would have been one of the judges as well. So we had some quite a few encouraging comments from our executive director. He indicated that he was very pleased with the papers, and it was a solid effort by all the teams. Mr. Arias, he said it was a pleasure reading the essays, and to please extend congratulations as SIM president to the 3 teams for such excellent articles. He said, all he can say is if TTBS personnel was able to write papers like these in such a short time, they should consider participating in SIM metrologist article competitions that come up every year. And yes, that is the encouragement that our technicians and our officers would submit papers in terms of the technical work that they do in advancing the work of metrology, right? So moving on, with respect to the results, there was a clear winner, which emerged consistently throughout all the judges' submission. And so we'll take it from third place. Third place with 76 points from the Standards and Calibration Unit, comprising of Ritson, Ayo, Mervin, Carey, and Sanjay. Well done, guys. It was a really good effort. Second place went to the team of LMI technicians with 77 points. It was a close call between third and second place. Sasha, our only female technician so far, Davian, Akil, Taufik, Nicholas, and Dale. And first place with 88 points is the Standards and Calibration Unit Team 2, Shaquille, Nigel, Ravindra, Avinash, and Rudo. So congratulations to Team 2. Excellent, well done. And without further ado, I will now call on the members of Team 2 to share with us highlights of their article submitted in terms of measurements supporting the global food system. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Are you all hearing me?
Morning, Rudo.
Yeah, morning,
Metro
Rudo.
loud and clear.
Can you all see my
Presentation? Yeah.
Nice. So, thank you, Mrs. Carruth. And good morning, everyone again. My name is Rudo Charles, and I'll be doing the first part of the introduction of this presentation. It is based on the winning article we wrote in celebration of World Metrology Day this year. In this presentation, we will be looking at 1, the importance of measurement in the global food system. 2, the value of metrology practitioners. 3, the thought of experts from industry on this topic. And lastly, a summary. Before I hand over to the next presenter, I'll just like to answer a few points. What is a food system, you may ask? Well, essentially, a food system is all activities, processes, and infrastructure involved in producing food for consumption. The image on the right depicts the steps in the process and some of the typical measurements involved at each stage. As Mr. Williams alluded to in his presentation, disposal is also a part of the food system as well. The second question I'd like to answer is, where does the word metrology come from? Well, it's a combination of 2 words, metron, which is Greek for the word measure, and logia or logy, meaning science or study of. So, in essence, metrology is a science of measurement. Additionally, a 1-question poll was conducted via WhatsApp to our work colleagues, friends, and family. 45 persons participated. 13 answered yes. The other 32 answered no. This led us to conclude that based on the poll, most persons do not take measurements into consideration when buying food. And the 13 persons that answered yes were all metrology workers. I would like to conclude my part of the presentation with a riddle. You can place your answers in the chat if you know it, or if you want to try. We're all familiar with the dad jokes. So this is my attempt at one. Why are fish so easy to measure? We have about 10 seconds. The answer is because they work with their own scales. I will now hand over to Mr. Ravindra Maharaj to share his part of the presentation. Thank you for your continued attention. Ravi, over to you.
Thank you, Rudo. I'm Ravindra Maharaj, and I will be speaking briefly on the importance of measurement in the food global system. Measurement plays a central part in supporting the food global system. Why, you may ask? Simply, food is essential for human survival. The demand for safe and high quality food has never been greater. And it is important to see to it that every aspect of the food industry is operating as efficiently as possible. Measurement is essential for several aspects of this. Firstly, one of these is ensuring food safety. Accurate measurement is critical for ensuring that products are safe to consume. Measurement is used in a variety of methods to test for contaminants such as bacteria, pesticides, and heavy metals, such as lead and mercury, as well as to ensure that food products fulfill regulatory authorities' safety criteria. It is also used to assess quality of food goods, such as nutrient content, flavor, and texture. Also, accurate measurement is critical for ensuring that food products meet and exceed consumer expectations. Measurement is used to improve production operations and food supply chain efficiency. Measurement can, for example, be used to monitor crop growth and output, enhance irrigation and fertilization procedures, and verify that food processing processes are working at maximum efficiency. This information aids in inventory management, waste reduction, and logistics planning. Finally, but by far not least, measurement is also important in facilitating international trade. Global food trade relies on consistent measurements to ensure that products fulfill international standards and laws and can transit borders freely. Measurements, for example, are used to determine the quality and quantity of food goods for import and export, as well as taxation, environmental safety, and profit margins. All in all, accurate and consistent measurement is essential for supporting the food global system, ensuring food safety, improving food quality, supporting supply chain efficiency, and facilitating trade. So, I will now pass you on to Mr. Nigel Kudjo, who will state the value of metrology practitioners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Maharaj. Good morning, everyone. And this section discusses the value and importance of metrology practitioners. But why are they important? Well, metrology practitioners make sure that measurements used in the food industry are accurate and consistent. Metrology practitioners develop and maintain the system for measuring equipment and devices in the food industry, including the units of measurements and how they are used. Metrology practitioners offer guidance to labs on how to make accurate measurements and make sure that the instruments used for taking measurements are calibrated correctly. Traceable measurements and proper calibration of equipment are extremely important for keeping our food safe. If they are not calibrated correctly, they might give us wrong measurements, which can be unsafe. So by making sure our measurements are traceable and our equipment is calibrated properly, we can help mitigate any risks and make sure that our food is safe to eat. Metrology practitioners collaborate with researchers, industry experts, and regulatory agencies to innovate and address food-related challenges. This joint effort results in improved testing methods, enhanced food safety, and the development of innovative solutions for a better and safer food system. Practitioners of legal metrology make sure that trade is fair and that measurements are accurate for consumers, so that when you buy something, you get exactly what you paid for. This helps protect consumers from unfair practices and ensures transparency in the market. It plays an important role in maintaining trust between buyers and sellers by ensuring that measurements are consistent and reliable, and that products are accurately labeled, priced, and measured, giving you, the consumers, confidence in your purchases. Moreover, when measurements are consistent and accurate and reliable, it fosters trust in products, companies, and authorities. This builds confidence in the items you purchase, enables businesses to trust their processes, and allows regulators to ensure fairness and compliance in the market. Consistent and reliable measurements result in consistent product quality, creating a sense of trust, satisfaction, and reliability within society, promoting a well-balanced environment for all stakeholders. Metrology practitioners are key players in our food system. Food safety is paramount. Efficiency is paramount. Sustainability is paramount. And their contributions is also paramount. Through maintaining high standards and reliability in the measurements used, they safeguard the safety and quality of our food. They streamline processes for greater efficiency and promote sustainable practices in food production and distribution. Without the expertise and efforts of these unsung heroes, our food system would be unable to meet the demands of a growing population. So whether we are developing and maintaining measurement standards, providing guidance on accurate measurement practices, calibrating instruments, or collaborating with stakeholders, We are essential to the success of the global food system. I would like to hand you back over to Mr. Ravindra Maharaj, who will be discussing the part, what the experts say.
Thank you, Nigel. So, in this section, what we did, we interviewed two persons, one from the quality department of a leading beverage company, and the other, a maintenance technician of a leading global company which specializes in water hygiene and infection prevention. Also, we interviewed two senior members of the TTBS Metrology Division answered a questionnaire. But for this presentation purposes, I will just be elaborating on one of those examples. For example, the interview conducted by the employee of the beverage company who is attached to the quality department. So what they said was that the use of a balance is one example of measuring playing a vital role in the activities relating to the creation of drinks at this leading beverage company in Trinidad. Before adding the dry materials to a bigger vessel for mixing, this balance weighs them. Precise measures are required not only to assure a standardized taste according to a certain recipe in order to retain a specific flavor, texture, or appearance, but also to establish the nutritional content of the beverages and can ensure that individuals enjoy a balanced and healthy diet. Importantly, the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards calibrates these balances annually, and they are examined on a regular basis by beverage industry technicians who keep control charts to detect any drift. So this was an interview that was done by me with an employee of the through the quality control department. So they expressed there were many other different measurements that they are involved in, for example, temperature and humidity measurements. But I just took out the weighing factor of it and elaborated on that. And thank you very much. I will pass you on to Mr. Avinash Maharaj at this point now.
Okay. So good morning, all. My job is simple, the summary. So in summary, the importance of metrology. Metrology plays an importantly crucial role in the global food system by providing accurate measurements for every aspect of the industry, such as agriculture, manufacturing, quality assurance, health and safety, distribution, and by ensuring that it's carried out safe and in an accurate manner. Metrology in the food system. Measurements such as temperature, time, weight, density, humidity, and dimensions all contribute to ensuring that the processes associated are carried out in a safe, sustainable, and effective manner, all the while providing protection and benefiting all involved. In conclusion, with an increasing world population, climate change, the demand for food that is safe and of utmost quality, high quality, I should say, has never been greater. Thus, good measurements are needed, and metrology will continue to lead the way in accurate and quality measurements. So I thank you very much, and I pass you on back to Mr. Ravindra Maharaj.
Thank you, Avinash. So here we have the team members, and I will just like to conclude by saying that this team worked splendidly together. It is a shining example of what teamwork should be. And I would like to give special recognition to our team leader, Mr. Rudo Charles, whose guidance was vital. He not only received and compiled information into the article that you will see, but he also brought us together as a team to form one cohesive unit to accomplish this successful article. And I would like to thank him for that. So that being said, I would like to thank everyone and happy World Metrology Day.
Hey, thanks, guys. Again, congratulations to the winning team, Bruno, Nigel, Avinash, Ravi, and Shakil, and to all the technicians who would have submitted their articles. Well done, everyone. At this time, we would like to have a commemorative photo for the workshop webinar today. So, Erica, we wanted the tokens in the photos, or
That would be good, Avinash.
okay. So those of you who have your Will Metrology Day tokens, oh god. Oh, oh. Oh, I think this background is getting in the way.
I would have removed my background,
Yeah.
Avinash.
Right. Right. Oh, here we go. Oh. Okay, so Erica, you want to take a screenshot or you want me to do it?
Avinash, you do it, please.
Okay. Shakil, you outside any?
Avinash cut off or what? What's going on? Can't keep my smile up for too long, you know.
Eric, I forgot my token at the office.
That's okay. Avinash, if you're speaking, your mic is off.
Okay, so sorry. I'll have to do it in two screenshots, right?
Yeah,
so,
you know. You wanna do a countdown?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh god.
We're seeing cameras still off. Come on,
Yeah.
guys, put on your cameras.
Or if you don't have a water bottle, you could.
Yeah, Avinash. I find you're taking real time, boy. Technical difficulties or what? Technical difficulties.
Listen, I need a third hand here. Okay. Oh man. All right, I already know.
Good.
3, 2, 1. All right. So that's 1. All right. One more. 3, 2, 1. All right, so that's That's it. Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, great. So now we're coming to the end of our program today. And I just want to hand you over to Ms. Karut for our closing remarks.
So it is my great pleasure to give the vote of thanks for this morning's webinar. Firstly, I would want to thank Senator, the Honorable Mrs. Paula Gopi-Schoon for her World Metrology Day message and encouraging us and giving insight in terms of the building of the metrology system in Trinidad and Tobago and the work that the government is doing with regards to food security for Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you, Minister, and the wider MTI team. Also, thank you to our Executive Director, Mr. Jose Trejo, for your encouragement to stakeholders to work together in building the measurement infrastructure and your support of the Metrology Division. Mr. Siudurga for his presentation on the digital transformation of the calibration services and, of course, given the international perspective and how it is being translated to us locally at the TTBS. Mr. William Jordan for giving us an inside view into the work of Angostura and how metrology and quality is integral to the operation. Your video presentation was well received. Ms. Sadiqa Mohammed, much appreciation for your presentation from the Massey Group and giving us insight into the challenges of delivering a reliable food supply in Trinidad and Tobago and how measurements support the activities of the Massey Group. Also, I would like to say special thank you to our invited stakeholders. We thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule today to be with us. We hope it was time well spent. I would have also seen Mr. Lockpat in the audience, so thank you for your attendance. To the management and staff of TTBS for your support. Special thanks to the marketing unit for your support and contribution to the World Metrology Day celebrations. To the metrology technicians for embracing the article writing competition and producing noteworthy articles. From my own part, I am very proud of your work and the effort that you would have put into developing these articles. To the judges of the articles, a hearty thank you for your time and support. Mr. Reddock, thank you for being with us today. And lastly, to the staff of the Metrology Division, the Legal Metrology Inspectorate, Standards and Calibration Unit, much appreciation for your work throughout the year and, of course, encouragement as we continue to press on in developing the national measurement system for Trinidad and Tobago. Again, happy World Metrology Day to everyone. The celebration, the day itself is Saturday, May 20th. Look out in the papers for the winning article. And I want to say thank you for your participation and attending, and do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Ms. Karut. Mr. Trejo, you want to say anything in closing? We have well, we're right on time, actually. That's metrology working for you.
Well, I would want to say to Erica that I'm an honorary metrologist. You know, I've been around this for quite some time, and in my past life, developing a metrology lab and understanding metrology took quite some time, but the importance of metrology, it's a difficult sell, but in quality infrastructure in general, but metrology for me is dear to my heart in terms of making the inroads with respect to why measurements are important to our daily lives. And I think it's there out front and center. I think today we made that that message very clear. We need to continue to work towards making sure that metrology is received for all the importance and value that it makes to our society. So as in the presentations, we talked about the improvements in metrology, the advances in metrology, and I think that the TTBS is going towards ensuring that we make those advances with all the technologies, making sure that we're pushing the digital technology in terms of digital transformation. So we are very active. So I'm very proud and happy. I'm glad for the commitment and the participation today. And again, congratulations to the team and to the other teams for their valiant effort in producing articles that try to make the case a valid case for metrology. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Trejo. On behalf of myself as well, I'd like to thank everybody for attending today, our guest presenters, our executive director, and our invited participants. So with that being said, we've come to the end of our program, and wish everyone a productive day and enjoy lunch. So it's about lunchtime, right? So everyone take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of the day, everybody. Bye.
All right.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.